disorders of eating habits and behavior among citizens in Ecuador. Definition: eating disorders are behavioral conditions characterized by severe and persistent disturbance in eating behaviors and associated distressing thoughts and emotions. Eating disorders such as anorexia, bulimia, and binge include extreme emotion, attitudes, and behaviors surrounding weight and food issues. Food patterns are modified by different factors: psychological, social, economic, friends, purchasing power, urbanization, etc., that continue in the future.
Everything in my life felt out of control, except my eating.
Everyone lied to me about my weight. They said I was thin. I knew that wasn't true.
I felt empty, so I ate. Then I felt guilty, so I got rid of it.
Once I started eating, I couldn't stop, no matter what anyone said or did.
These are the voices of feeding and eating disorders. These affect millions of Americans and usually begin during adolescence. Self-image, food, eating, and body weight each become a source of serious anxiety for people, and they experience distorted thinking and behaviors that cause problems in their lives. These disorders can even be life-threatening. I know. One of these voices is mine. My own diagnosis was anorexia nervosa. I know now that it can be one of the most dangerous of all mental health disorders. I'm so glad that I got help. Anorexia is diagnosed when someone restricts food intake and loses weight until he or she is significantly below a healthy body weight. In my case, I got really underweight, although I didn't see it that way. My menstrual cycle stopped and I was exhausted. I didn't worry about those things because I also felt great. Feeling in control of something in my life made it easy to deny there was a problem. A lot of people with anorexia feel the same way, but if it's left untreated, anorexia can cause really serious medical conditions like bone and heart problems, and even lead to death. There are other feeding and eating disorders, including binge eating and bulimia nervosa. In binge eating disorder, people eat large amounts of food in a really short period of time. They feel out of control and helpless about their desire to eat, yet they can't stop. Binge eating disorder can also lead to a lot of medical problems like obesity, high blood pressure and cholesterol, and diabetes. People say they feel disgusted with and ashamed of themselves, which may be a result of the behavior, but also might promote the behavior. Bulimia nervosa also includes binge eating. Feeling upset with themselves, people then try to compensate with purging behaviors. Purging can be done through intentionally vomiting, using laxatives, or exercising excessively. People develop problems with their teeth from vomiting, including worn or decaying enamel and pain, and can also experience a sore throat, dehydration, or stomach problems. As with other disorders, people with bulimia also feel a great deal of shame and try to hide their binging and purging. When I was a teenager, my parents got me medical treatment that included a stay in the hospital. I didn't want to at the time, but now I know it was the right thing to do. I was in a medical crisis. A dietitian worked with my treatment team to help create a healthy eating plan for me to follow. I also participated in CBTE, or Enhanced Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. It's specifically created for eating disorders and helped me change my thinking around food, eating, and my weight. I learned that I had a pretty unrealistic image of what I looked like, and CBTE helped me understand and slowly change it. My family was also involved in my treatment, which really helped. Each piece of the program I did is backed by evidence saying it works. Other therapies are proven to work as well. Interpersonal therapy, or IPT, helps people understand their eating behaviors, as well as how they interact with people in their lives. Finally, some people with eating disorders get benefits from medication, which helps with those stubborn thoughts, as well as the depression and anxiety that often comes along with these diagnoses. My experience with anorexia nervosa was life I understand now that food can become more than just food for some people. It can take over thoughts and feelings, but with evidence-based treatment, they can get their lives back and develop healthy relationships with food. I know. I did.
Pros and cons. Pros: achieve adequate nutritional status, and motivating and preparing for food behavior change. Cons: requires constancy and patience. It is a long and complex process. Application in nutrition. Nutrition education is part of the treatment process. It seeks to change eating behavior through understanding the problem and knowledge of the benefits of changes. These are of great importance for handling dietary nutritional aspects, such as weight restoration, the achievement of an intake that covers requirements, and adequate nutritional education.
Laureate. I'm Valerie Grogan. I am one of the adolescent dietitians. I've been here since 2012. Patients do have individualized meal plans, so no one patient will necessarily have the same meal plan at any given time. The meal plan is solely determined by the dietitians here on staff, and like Valerie was saying, we're always looking at their lab work, having them kind of doing some internal checking with appetite and fullness and looking at energy balance along the way. If anything looks off, that would be a cue for the dietitian to tweak the meal plan so that we're not causing refeeding syndrome or any bowel type issues, and can make sure they have a nice balance.
We also work really closely with outpatient dietitians, so they already have an established outpatient team. We're in contact with them oftentimes before they even admit, so we make sure that we have a really good continuation of care from when they were working with outpatient, inpatient, and then again when they discharge back to outpatient.
On the front end, our patients do a very thorough intake with admissions, and as soon as we make that first touch, the dietitians are contacted and we start thinking about what the meal plan needs to look like. If they have food allergies or special dietary needs, we coordinate with their chef to make sure that we can accommodate those appropriately while also still treating the eating disorder, and kind of hit the ground running from there. So by the time they actually get here, we have what they need and have an idea of, what we're going to do with their meal plan.
Chef Buck, I'm quite certain descended from heaven on Angel's Wings. He really takes a personal interest in his patients. The girls really connect really well with him. He comes out after every single meal to make sure everything was okay. He jokes with them behind the line. He really takes an interest in making sure that these girls and these women are having an okay time going through his kitchen and his dining hall.
Yes, so we actually get the pleasure of treating a lot of Orthodox women that come from the East Coast and from California right now. Hopefully we'll continue to expand that, but our kitchen is as kosher as it can be. Chef Buck works really closely with our local rabbi, Rabbi Weg, who helps make sure that the food is being stored correctly, that we have good variety of snacks, and that we are adhering to the kosher law. But we've also had, Catholic nuns that have sought treatment here. We've had Hindu patients that have sought treatment here.
We did a really, really neat outreach with the Muslim community here in Tulsa. We got our first Muslim patient to learn those different dietary needs. That was really exciting to learn about.
The fact that our program is a little bit smaller, we get to know our patients really well and form really close relationships with them, both here and then after they leave. It's always fun getting that email from a former patient letting us know that they're doing well or getting married or having children or whatever. So I think the relationship that we form with our patients and really watching them get well is one of the best parts of this job.
Applied in Ecuador. In Ecuador, the prevalence of eating disorders is approximately 11 to 13%. In Ecuador, there are several programs that work with intersectoral coordination and intervention, with community participation, promoting appropriate lifestyles, breastfeeding, providing comprehensive care, and evaluating. Conclusion: eating habits must be instilled from the initial age of children to older adults. The bad habit is the common factor in Ecuadorian citizens. It is essential to adopt foods of great nutritional value and thus be able to maintain a nutritional balance to avoid future health complications.
Lots of people watch what they eat to keep fit and healthy, but eating disorders are driven by an intense fear of becoming overweight. They have a number of different causes, including sadness, low self-esteem, and a need for control. There's also lots of social pressure to be thin. The most common eating disorders are anorexia and bulimia. Anorexia involves eating less and less, even when you are below a healthy weight. Bulimia is binge eating and making yourself vomit or using laxatives. Both disorders tend to start in your mid-teens. They can have physical effects such as brittle bones and liver damage. In women, periods can become irregular or stop. In men, erections may stop and testicles can shrink. Eating disorders are dangerous conditions which can lead to serious illness and even death. There's also binge eating disorder, where you diet and binge eat but without vomiting. It's not as harmful as bulimia, and sufferers are more likely to become overweight. If you think you may have an eating disorder, you need to talk to your GP as soon as you think something's wrong. It may have caused some physical problems, and some illnesses can mimic anorexia, so be sure to get a physical health check. Your GP may refer you to a specialist. Together you'll investigate how the problem started and how to change the ways you relate to eating. They'll also help rebuild your self-esteem. When you're ready, a dietitian can talk to you about eating healthily. There are also lots of things you can do to help yourself. Keep a diary of what you eat and how you feel to find links between the two. Try to understand the way that's best for you and why. Challenge your eating patterns and how you view your body. Talk with family and friends to help them understand how you feel. Remember, don't be too hard on yourself. Getting better is a steady process, but with a little help you can go on to lead a happy, healthy life. To find out more about eating disorders, visit the Royal College of Psychiatrists website.